Hello everyone, my name is Roy Cornwall. It is 3:30 in the afternoon, August the 1st, 2024, and I thought I'd talk to you uh, as a Canadian, and I want to explain why we are the way we are, okay? Um, what I want to talk to you about is the Canadian will to win. The Canadian will to win. In the First World War, we took no prisoners. No prisoners. When we attacked, if the Germans put their hands up, that was just made it easier for us to kill them. We were ruthless, absolutely ruthless in that First World War, and the Germans flat out feared us. They called the Canadian Army the American SS. And the SS was the best, the elite of the German had. So they considered the Canadian Army the elite of what they had. Now, my father used to tell me stories. He was in the war. He told me one story, because it's a lot of stories, right? But this one story, it stuck out because it shocked me as a little boy. I was only like 7 years old when he told me this. He said, picture about 5,000 Canadian tents with two people in each tent, he says. And then draw a line, and on the other side of that line put 5,000 American tents right there, right? I said, okay, Dad, I understand a lot of tents, right? He goes, yeah. He says, the Canadians used to get together in gangs, and they would go out after dark, and they would sneak into the German lines, and they wouldn't use a gun, they'd use their knife and kill an awful lot of Germans. And they would cut their ears off. And then on something like this, they would hook the ear. So they would come back with a whole pile of ears. And the person with the most ears got the pot, money that was back at the. So Dad's telling, I said, yeah, I said, is that real? I said, because even at 6 years old, I questioned a lot. I said, is that true, Dad? He goes, yes, true. He says, one of these raids, the Canadian squad did so well that they came through the American lines, and and they tossed every tent all right down the center of this thing, and not one person came out of the American tents because they knew if they came out, never facing a Canadian. Now, I just want to say this about Canada: we've never lost a war. You're looking at the only country on this planet who's never lost a war. Let's shift to the 72 series, Summit Series against Russia. You saw what makes Canada Canada come out in that series. Uh, Team Canada fought the referees, the Red Army hockey team, the Red Army themselves. They tried to abduct Alan Eagleson out of there. And they went over and got him back. And with all the things that went on, they stole their food, they stole their beer, they'd wake them up all night long phoning them. And if they unplugged the phone, they'd come and plug it back in and fix it. So it'd work again so they could bother them all night. Everything that was done against the Canadians overcame. Just like the hills in Dieppe. That's one I want you to look up. And you know what? That just doesn't apply to our anger. That applies to every facet of our being. Look what happened in Gander, Newfoundland. There's about 10,000, roughly, about 10,000 people in Gander, and 7,000 people showed up on their doorstep. The people in Gander had opened up the stores and gave stuff free of charge to those people. Made sure they had their medicines, made sure they ate the food, because some of them didn't eat American food, Canadian North American food. It was something from their country. So Everybody chipped in, and I think it was 5 days, 4 or 5 days they were there. Uh, uh, Canadians got all those people back in the planes and on their way. We dug in there just like we did in Dieppe, First World War, and the Summit Series. Okay. Now we've we've come to the defense of Holland and gave them back their freedom. And at this point, I have to stop and ask myself: if there a war, if a war, Russia attacked us right now and started taking our country over, who would come to our defense? I got a feeling the Americans would. I got a feeling that England would. I got a feeling Australia would. And I think even France would. There's a couple of countries there, but you can bet that Russia wouldn't invade Canada unless they had their backing too, you see. So, we have something about us as a Canadian, especially the ones that were born in the 60s or even before. I've noticed this. We'll say we're sorry time and time again to avoid an argument or a fight. We'll walk or even run in the other direction. But you cross the line if you put your hands on us or try to get physical with us. Because there's not a Canadian that I know that doesn't have that same fighting ability in the First World War. Once we trip over into the fighting zone, we don't stop till either we're dead or the other person's dead. And that's why we say we're sorry, because we know what's coming. We feel really sorry for what we're about to do to you. The Canadians are one top lot, believe me. I've lived amongst them for 70 years. And if the cause is just and right, they'll be there for that. Now, I just want to say that if Canadians didn't have the attitude that they had in the Second World War, we'd all be worshiping Hitler rather than God. You have to fight for God and country, and this goes against what I'm hearing from the Bible. No, don't fight, don't kill, none of it. But if we didn't fight back in the Second World War and even the First, we'd be praying to Hitler or a government regime. Guaranteed. So that battle was fought for God and country. And that's why it says God and country on it. Now, Canadians, we're the nicest people on this planet. But please don't cross that line with us. Please don't. We're asking you as Canadians, be nice with us. Right? We don't do exceptionally well in the Olympics because we just plain flat out don't put the importance on it like other countries do. I mean, we do. We go through the regime and everything, but we don't put the importance on it. Our importance is on ice hockey. Yeah. Because it's hard, really hard to do, play ice hockey. It really is. And because of that, and it's our game, we're going to be the best at it. That challenges us to the core. And when you challenge a Canadian, you better be prepared. I know my countrymen. I know my father. I know what happened in the Second World War. A lot of it. I'm going to leave you with this, everyone. I'm firmly convinced of this. I've had 7 decades to figure this out. But look at me now. God is Canadian. God is Canadian. And that's why we've never lost a war, because we fight for God and country. God is deeply fixed in the Canadian culture here. The Christian philosophy runs deep here. It's not just in the States or in the southern states. God's hand waved over everybody here on this continent. And we're, as Canadians, we're very blessed to have the Americans here on our side. But on the same hand, the Americans are very blessed to have Canada has got their back. Don't worry, Americans, we've got your back. We've shown it to you time and time again. With Iran, your people that we got out, 6 dignitaries we got out. We with all the draft dodgers that didn't want to fight, they came to Canada. We took care of them. We've had your back now for a lot of years, and we've gone to war with you. If I was an American, I'd be very pleased to have Canada as a backer. Yes. It's like Tom Brokaw said when he was explaining Canada to the Americans. He says, and if you're in a fight, you want the Canadians on your side. He says, we were in World War II long before the Americans were. We have a nasty fighting side up to us that I think the whole world's understanding. That's why we say sorry, sorry. So if we bump into you on the street and we say sorry 2 or 3 times, and you're still coming at us, you're going to learn a heavy lesson. I want everybody to understand that I'm so proud to be a Canadian. I'm very proud to be a Canadian. When we act as a country, we've always done the right thing. So if you could like and subscribe and hit the notification signature there, that would be great for me and other people. I want to say thanks for tuning in, everybody, and blessings to all. Blessings to all. Bye bye, everyone. May God bless.